Hello everybody and welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. Man United are out. Man United go another year without a trophy. A club of this size is pretty ginormous for those kind of things to happen. Ronaldo having come in unable to get a trophy in his first season for Manchester United. Lots to unpack here. The game itself was tentative. It was everything we expected. It really, really was. There's some interesting moments in it, and tactically I thought it was fascinating as well. But it was one of those ones where I was thinking about it and watching it and going, United aren't terrible. They might even be good, but they're certainly not good enough. Certainly not good enough. Fine margins, I think it was always going to be fine margins because this is not a very good Atletico Madrid side. But what they do is when they win games like this, they look cunning. But when they lose these games, they look limited. And I think the truth is somewhere between the two. Before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get ourselves to 200k as soon as we can. So if you haven't hit the button before, we're going to be doing loads of lives after games. And if you don't want to miss them, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell as well. And if you're with me live right now, make sure you hit the like button for me. I'm going to go to the comments near the end. I want to hear about man of the match. I want to hear about if you don't worry about the ref too much, because I think I will touch on that myself. But I'd rather hear about the pattern of play. Were you happy with that? Were you happy with Rangnick and the changes that happened? Lots to talk about there. So don't waste too much time on the referee, because I guess I should probably get to that first and foremost, because the goal comes sort of late in the half. And it's one where, like, first things first, you've got the two setups. I thought the setups were fair, is exactly what we expected. And what was great about Atletico Madrid is they essentially built a bit of a brick wall here. And when I say Man United, they're good, but they're not good enough. I predicted, in my predictions, I said Atletico will get through and it'll be itchy, it'll be scratchy, that's a Simpsons show, isn't it? It'll be ugly, it'll be awkward. And that's exactly what it was. But in terms of the lineups, Fred, I think we thought he was going to play, had to play. McTominay we thought would come in at the base of that pivot. Fred was really interesting in terms of his play again. So much better going forward for the side, as you can see here. Just seems so much more comfortable. I think he feels that pressure when he picks up the ball a lot deeper. But in this position, he does seem a lot better. What I would say is, as good as he is with those little flicks and tricks at times, and yes, he presses brilliantly for the team as well, it's not really down to him. But because the whole idea of the team's not completely solidified, I thought in the second half they kind of ran out of steam a little bit, and in the first half as well, what you could see, and the average positions just really, really show it for me, is the fact that it was a real brick wall here, because you got the back five, and we'll talk about Herrera in a second, who I thought was definitely man of the match for the work that he put in. They defended really deep, didn't press whatsoever. 2 shots I think they had in the first half, and of course got their goal from it. 4 shots last time I looked. I don't think it was many more by the end of it. Defended deep, but were really, really comfortable in what they were doing a lot of the time. And you can see here, when I talk about it being a wall, if you remember where they are on the pitch, now have a look where Man United were. And this was a bit of a problem, is that it was just that little bit, I mean, not even a little bit, it was super, super flat. So in terms of those players who are going to come and get on the ball and turn, that wasn't really happening too much. Elanga struggled to get into the game. It felt like the game was a little bit too much. It felt like the players were a little bit too cute for him. On this left-hand side, Telles and Sancho, I thought Sancho had a really, really poor game, certainly in the first half in particular. And with Ronaldo, and it's not his fault, but again, because you've still got a bunch of individuals here where they're trying to figure out a way to play, it's not automatic. It's not automatic, sorry. They don't know what they're doing, and they don't know who they're playing to. And it felt like at times they were sort of missing this player that's going to kind of run in behind. And Ronaldo was sort of drifting over to the left-hand side at times, over to the right-hand side at times. To create overloads, that's fine. But then who's the guy who's getting in the box for them? And when they are going to do that, are they going to be high-quality crosses? For me, they weren't. It was interesting to see, look, for those two to be not exposed but sort of left alone as much as they were, you would expect a bit more from Man United, who were in control in the first half of the game. Like I say, it wasn't a bad performance. I think there will be a fallout from this, but it won't be due to the fact that United were terrible in this football match. It was more down to the fact that it's more the fact that they don't know who they are right now. That's why there needs to be a fallout. That's why there needs to be an understanding of who they are and who they want to be. I want to talk about Herrera for a second, because the work that he put in was absolutely instrumental for frustrating Man United, because there was a very clear game plan. From me, when I was watching the first 10 minutes, I go, and you look at the bench, you're thinking, I think we can hold on. Cholo Simeone, you know what he does. He's going to hold his nerve. So get to the second half of the game, utilise our bench after that. And actually, what might also happen, I was wondering, was that Man United might run themselves out or run out of ideas a little bit. And if it is still 0-0, or if they do need to go for a goal, they could press a bit higher like they did in the first game. But they didn't need to do it in the end. But Herrera was absolutely fantastic for them. It allowed them to have 2-8 because of the amount of work that he did in terms of making it really, really difficult and just screening the back three, which became a four with Llorente, all the time. And to be honest, it became a back five a lot of the time. But the work that Herrera did meant that they could never thread it through, and it meant that consistently Man United were just stuck in that wall. And you can see it from his heat map. You really, really can. Look, just constantly just doing shuttle runs, windscreen wipers across side to side, side to side, making tackles, and we put in so much work for them. And it made it so tight. It made it so difficult because you need the sort of layers to get through, and they weren't able to do that. And once they got their goal, which was neat, it was tidy, they were really in control, to be honest, throughout the game. In terms of the changes that were made, I get the changes. I would like to see. I would like to see Mata come on earlier, or it was Lingard on the bench. Yeah, I would like to see Lingard get involved as well, because the other thing that they were doing, and again it's shown in those average positions, is that there wasn't that true width. There was never that true width. You know, get to the byline if you want to do it. You know, and it just all drills down into this idea that they don't really. It's half baked. It's completely half baked, and you know, this is not a good Atletico Madrid side. It really, really isn't. And so for them to have no real understanding of how to unlock this Atletico Madrid side partly comes down to giving Atletico Madrid credit. They've got an amazing coach, and they've got great mindset as well. That's the other thing I did want to talk about, is I thought for the goal, if you watch the goal back, and I thought, I said it in the last video I did where we were talking about Man City, the defensive mindset of this Man United team is woeful in terms of that understanding to sense danger. If you watch this game back, time and again, there's Savic just read something, or Herrera just read something, Coca just read something, Rodrigo de Paul just read something. That goal, if you watch that goal back, the positioning of Dalot the body positioning of him is terrible. The same goes for Maguire. The same goes for McTominay. And there are moments as well where someone needs to go, scan the pitch and go, right, that's a hole there. McTominay could have done it. Maguire could have done it. Dalot maybe could have done it. And just take control of that penalty box when you're on your way. Because they do have that counter-attack, but they then do sort of turn out, and they've still got time to put that cross to the back post. It was so obvious that was coming. And when you can see that danger, you then go, McTominay should be busting a gut. If this is Liverpool, Henderson's busting a gut. He goes and plays in that centre-back position, and he's there in time, and he's on his way there. He's telling Dalot to get out wide because he can see that Lodi's on his way. Same with Maguire. He should be doing that as well. And so you can go after one of them. And I thought Maguire looked very, very sluggish in this game. So I understand any critique that goes his way. But it's all of them. It's all of them. And so with the ball, it's not quick enough. It's not automatic enough. And without the ball, there isn't that sensing of danger. There isn't that leadership of going, scan the pitch, understand, you there, you there, you there, you there, get it done. That's a huge part of this. And that goal, when we talk about the refereeing, you know what you're going to get. You know you're going to get frustrated about it. I tweeted this at half-time. I said, you know, these are the masters of the dark arts. They're going to go down. They're going to waste time. Those things are going to happen, right? Get on with it. It's again about leadership. Ronaldo is 10 yards away from the ball. Go have a go at the referee at the end of it all. Once the ball's out of play, get on with it. Is it a foul? Look, you've seen him given a million times. Sure, if it makes you sleep tonight. But maybe not. So deal with the situation until the ball is out of play. That is the long and the short of it. And again, when you talk about the mentality of these players, and I always think it's a little bit lazy to go mentality of these players. Without the ball, that's where you're found out for that. Those players that want to go and win headers, those players that want to go and defend, those players that want to make those crazy runs back to get back. In that scenario, I think you saw everything that's wrong with Man United at times, is the fact that they're moaning about the referee. Get on with it. The ball's down the other end of the pitch. It doesn't need to happen. And Atletico Madrid smell blood. And Man United don't sense danger. And then all of a sudden, you've given Atletico Madrid a 1-goal lead, which is exactly what they wanted. Exactly what they wanted. A couple of super chats. And I'd love to know who people's man of the match was. And also, I want to talk to you guys about Ronaldo now. Because he's left Trophyless, but will he leave Trophyless? What would you do with Ronaldo? I'm going to come back and talk about that in a second. Maestro D with the super chat. Something's happening here. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Aaron JaackMaate. We are a representation of our leaders on and off the pitch. At board level, clueless. Our manager is part-time. And our captain is the worst player. I can't go too heavy on Rangnick because, it's interim and that's difficult mentally for them. But for the players, you've either got it or you haven't. And they haven't got it for a lot of them. Too much moaning, too much of a lack of the sensing of danger. That's the big one for me. Time and again, I'm seeing it. That lack of identity going forward, I can forgive that a little bit. And it is still about the individuals a lot of the time. You saw that on Saturday. But without the ball, that was the difference between these two teams. And that's why I said Atletico Madrid would get through, because they would find a way to get through. And that's exactly what they did. Exactly what they did. Sorry, guys. So yeah, my view on Ronaldo, and I want to read your comments here, because that could be his last Champions League game. That could be the last time we see him in the Champions League. Which is, sad, but I think, look, he's had a good run, hasn't he? I think he's okay. The question here is that there needs to be such an audit of the squad, their strengths, and who you want to move forward with. And is Ronaldo part of that? Quite possibly. The guy could play for another 2, 3, 4 years, whatever he wants to do. The guy's a freak. We saw that on Saturday. But we need to find out who are the 6 or 5 that they move forward with, because it's a flabby squad. It's a squad where you don't know who the guys who are going to start. Look at Arsenal, who look like they're going to pinch fourth from Man United. You know what the team is. With Man United, you're happy with it. With Man United, you don't know what the team is. You don't know how they're going to play. You don't know what the passing combinations are. There's no efficiency, and this is the highest level. And there's only so far you can get with just putting together a nice little solid squad and then hoping Bruno Fernandes scores 20 goals a season. It's not enough. So someone else said it. So that's how snookered I feel like they are with Ronaldo, is that he is good enough to build around, but he's so old. Do you know what I mean? So the experience is great, but his role would have to change. I think if it was me, I would look to try and have him on board and make him excited about next season, with the understanding that, we need you as a leader, because the body language is poor amongst the entire squad. There's just so many missing bits here, isn't there? There's so many missing bits here. And again, I want to finish with that. That wasn't a bad performance, but it wasn't anywhere near good enough. And for you to be a successful team, you need to be too good. It really is as simple as that. Would you try and sell Rashford? He's devoid of confidence right now. I wouldn't. I think the big thing I would say about Rashford is he's not playing in a position that he wants to, or in a settled position. And I think that's what's chipped away at his confidence. This is the problem with a lot of them, is that last year Rashford felt like he was important, and this year he doesn't, and I think that is hurting him a lot. But I think there's obviously still a player in there. My boy Christian Henage. Do we know Ronaldo wants to stay with a team that won't challenge for elite titles? I think, I don't know, but I guess where else can he go? Because the problem is that as much as he'll get you out of jail, he's clutch. There's just so much baggage and attention that comes with him, and he is always the story. He's always the story. I think, what have I titled this? Ronaldo left Trophyless. So, I'm complicit in that. But, the guy's box office. So it is a big decision for him to make. I'm interested in that. Gutted that Ajax went out because I was getting all my predictions right, and that's the first one I've got wrong. But at least Adel Taarabt is still in the Champions League. 3 cheers for Adel. So there you have it, guys. Herrera, man of the match for me. Cholo Simeone does his business again. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. So many big games coming up. Going to be doing loads of lives, so make sure you hit the notification bell as well, so you know when we put a video out. I was working on the videos that we're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks. There's some really, really wicked ones, some old favourites that you're going to love. So make sure you've